Speaking of hours and showers, you like that segue? Eh?
That was a great segue.
Can we roll the clip from last week?
Yes.
I'm sullying myself here, and I mean if you follow me on Instagram or even here on YouTube, I put it up as a short. Let's just run it. You guys.
I feel bad about being kind of mean to you in this clip, but
No, I love it. I love
it. I was right, as you'll see in a second.
I put myself out there.
And this is a clip from last week's show. Check this out. We beat Ravana head to head. Nobody cares, but Vibo now is not as slam dunk of a relegation as they were before, and I do not want to talk about either of those two teams anymore for a single second. So
I just want to look. Yeah, no, nothing good in this. No. Actually, Yuji Nishida, not bad.
Who cares?
20 Ravana. 26 for 43.
He played against Ravana.
26 for 43.
I don't care. He played against Ravana. And like there are people online talking about this match, and I wanted to punch them all in the face. Why would you waste your time?
Maybe. Hey,
nope.
Maybe that Yuji magic is coming back.
No. Stop talking right now. They played Ravana. And
I tried. Hey, I'm trying to turn a new leaf in 2022. I'm trying to be a Yuji Nishida stan.
Well, I'm not, and I will shut that down immediately. If he plays well against a team that isn't Ravana, then talk to me. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So you were right. He played against a team that wasn't Ravana and was absolutely brutal. 4 points, minus 125 efficiency, 3 for 16. Got subbed out. The game was over in an hour and 10 minutes. So it's pretty like let's call it an hour and shower. Those things are only supposed to happen in high school ball when you have one team full of and the other team is just full of scrubs who are under 5'10". But here we had it in Superliga against a team that at the beginning of the season was touted to be one of the top 5 teams. So maybe not top 5, but definitely a playoff team here. And embarrassing on my part. But what really grinds my gears here about all of this is the volleyball media's response to this match. And so this was right after the match, and you see here the only channels that are allowed to post volleyball stuff, right? They're allowed to use Volleyball World's content, are here talking about Ivan Zaitsev versus Yuji Nishida. You know, like, thank God, Volleyball Kings did it against Lucarelli, because Zaitsev and Nishida had a combined 9 points. Like 9 points in the match, and we're gonna put them like the LeBron James out here putting up points. Like, how many fantastic like season best performances did we see this past week on both the men's and women's side? Like, how much big things happen in Italian volleyball, and we're out here talking about Nishida, who was a minus 125 efficiency, and Ivan Zaitsev, who scored 5 points in a match where his team really didn't need him. Like, what are we doing here? Like, the volleyball media is absolutely terrible. No one cares about the sport. No one is out here to make it better. They're just here for the dollars. And like, I remember I've spoken to people from the FIVB, from Volleyball World, and they love the fact. They think the fact that they have a partnership with Titans Volleyball is amazing. And it's probably just some kid in Russia, and that Titans is a Russian company, and they do multiple different sports. It's some kid in his bedroom in Russia just editing highlights with no regard and being like, oh, Nishida's the star on this team. Like, he has like the pamphlet with all the teams in it. He put a star, in Sharpie beside Nishida and a star beside Zaitsev. And like, that's what we make it. It's just another terrible week by volleyball media, not talking about what's going on and putting it on for players who are insignificant.
Completely insignificant. Yeah, ever hit the nail right on the head. I really don't have all that much more to add to that, but other than to reiterate some of the performances that we did see this weekend that are not being talked about at all. That Rook Mosic stat line was really one of the great performances in a domestic volleyball match I've seen maybe ever, and he's 20 years old. He went 20 for 32 with 2 aces and 4 blocks and 70% passing positive. Like, get out of here. That's a match-winning ace at 23-21 in the 5th. Why are we not talking about that? Why are there not highlight videos being made about that? Why are there not highlight videos being made about Paula Egonu ripping sharp cross to 2 feet off the net? Why are there not highlight videos being made about young Dana Retke, a young, like an up and coming absolute superstar, going like having
Katerina
one of the great
Antropova, like
yes, go
the
with
list
8
goes
aces in 3
on and
sets, like
on.
all the things that we talk about on this show. Why are those things that are recognized and appreciated by actual volleyball fans not making their way up to the top levels of volleyball media? It just doesn't make sense. The disconnect is so vast that you would think, Everett, with how much we talk about it on this show every week about how disconnected volleyball world is from reality in terms of digital media, you would think that some things like this make their way up to them because there are tremendous performances
no
happening
There's no way
on their platform. It's on their platform. It's on the streaming service that they bought the rights to this year. And they're missing out on the things that happen in Italy, men's and women's, that actually matter. And here we are putting up highlights about Ivan Zaitsev and Yuji Nishida, who are both completely insignificant on the weekend. Unbelievable.
And I'm not saying Nishida is insignificant overall. I think he's an all-star player. I think he's a superstar player, but he's not the only player that exists, right? Like
Flavio is the best player on Vibo Valencia, by the way.
No, and he has all year long. So it's just so frustrating of like, why do we continue to push this narrative? Why like we keep trying to, and I've been saying this for so long in volleyball, we keep trying to cater to our third level adopters and still instead of catering to our first level adopters. The way that volleyball media has been for so long, and like from the way the camera's posted to how media is run, is really to let's try to attack the masses who don't give a shit about the sport and completely forego our baseline fans.
That's
like
right.
The one thing I disagreed with Finn Taylor when he did that interview with the Sandcast podcast is that he was saying, like volleyball fans are always going to love volleyball. No, volleyball fans don't love volleyball.
No, volleyball fans are terrible at liking volleyball
because they're so apathetic because they've never been catered to. They've never had anything to be like, here's why you like volleyball. You're like, so many volleyball players are almost scared to say that they are volleyball players because there's just no context for it. No one knows it is. It comes around every 4 years, and you've got like TikToks going off being like, man, men's volleyball is the manliest sport there is. Like if you know TikTok, you know what it was.
Yeah.
And like everyone's seen that clip, and no one inside of volleyball does anything about it.
It's ridiculous. I didn't think there was so much great volleyball that happened this weekend. I was annoyed that we had no choice but to go on this very rant again. It's pretty much like a weekly segment at this point. But you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Take a Rok Mozic, put him on a pedestal and spotlight this man when he rips an ace. When he rips an ace to win a match 23-21 in the fifth, and he has that stat line. Spotlight that. Spotlight the 30-second clip of one of the great cross-court shots I've ever seen in my life from Paula Egonu. And she is the best player in the world, and everyone actually knows who she is. Why don't you take that? Why don't you even know that play happened? It's unbelievable to me.
Why isn't this being like, I watch the Raptors games, and every three-point shot is broken down in 5G. We can't even get a slow-mo replay.
It's so sad. So sad. Well, we're doing what we can on this show.